Happy Monday. Listen, I have a very, very brief thing to say. After my running over my pod last week, I'm happy to say I have a new one. Welcome to the family. Yeah, just wanted to share it. The anxiety of running over a pod is over. I now am replete.
New pods.
Oh,
yeah.
thank God. Lovely. That's amazing. Wow.
I know.
So pleased. And the other pod must be really happy now to find a partner.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
exactly. It's all good.
Yes. So I must tell you, I just wanted to ask you girls, are you a morning person or a nighttime person? Because I am definitely a morning person, because I come to life, I'm very irritating to everyone in the morning. I'm full of energy, ideas, phone calls, chat, and then by 10 o'clock, I can't even speak. So it's like,
but that's the alcohol.
Yeah, true. That does help. Are you a nighttime person or a morning person?
I have a theory of this, though. I think it might be something to do with the time you're born. It could be rubbish.
However,
probably.
What time were you born?
I was born at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 to 10 in the morning, and I am a morning person. What about you, Harriet? Are you a morning person or a nighttime person?
Darling, I'm both. I'm up at the dawn's crack. I'm normally up by about 6. I'm certainly awake in the night on and off, and I'm up à bonne heure. And then I am happy to do a late night as well. I probably don't go to bed much. I go to sleep around midnight, after midnight. Wow. So both, darling. I span the entire day.
Sherry, you're I think you're a morning person.
Yeah, I like early mornings. I had a when I was about, I think it was 12 to 14, I had a thing of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and taking my mother and father a cup of tea.
And they loved you.
Oh, they couldn't bear it. And they eventually locked my bedroom door so I couldn't get out in the morning. And that's
something for us to think about.
Just sleep. And I thought, oh, yeah, why don't I just stay asleep? So I think I probably am, a morning person. I really don't know, because
when you say morning person, darling, do you mean you're in a good mood? Because I've not witnessed that morning, noon, or night. So what does that mean for you?
I don't know. I'm a bit of a strange one, to be honest. I don't know whether I'm coming or going, whether I'm Arthur or Martha. I don't know, what's happening with me. Sometimes I wake up and I'm fine, but then I've only got to knock something over, and then I become a killer. Serial killer.
That's very interesting, isn't it? And I think that's something to do with lockdown, because this morning, Tinkerbell, one of my dogs, knocked over my coffee all over me. Now that would have really it made me go berserk. And you just go, well, why is that? Because we're so close to the edge all the time, aren't we? With this?
I think so.
It's very, very interesting. And I thought, that poor dog, it wasn't her fault. She got a tail, but it's why are we like?
I don't know. And I've got a canal outside my window, and believe me, it's very soon I'll be jumping into that canal. It's not very deep.
Come up to your knees, darling. Just come up to your knees.
Is that because you love the ducks, darling, and you want to paddle with them?
I think we need to get Matron. Sorry.
Matron. I think we're all suffering slightly from lockdown Lulaniness.
I totally am, and I've been on dry whatever it is for a month now, so that could be something to do with it, couldn't it?
When are you going to break that? Are you going to have a drink or not?
I don't know, because every time I look, I think, I don't really want anything to drink. I can't imagine what I would drink now.
Yeah,
that's very good. I don't want a gin and tonic. I don't want anything. I don't even want a Baileys.
What?
Excellent!
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Can't believe what I'm hearing.
Never, darling. That's one thing you'll never be, is boring.
Oh, no, but angry.
Yes, angry.
I
understand that. I understand that. Anyway, I think I might have a little tonic for our angriness this afternoon.
Good.
We have, who has just flown into our nest, the wonderful Aldo Zilli, the inspirational chef, my gorgeous friend. Aldo, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Aldo.
Hi.
You look so great. Oh my God.
And so do you.
Yeah.
I love your
Love it.
flowers. Oh,
Thank you. I love flowers. They make
Aldo.
my heart beat.
They do. Aldo, it's so, so lovely to see you. I was just telling the girls before that we had one, I mean, we've had some fun nights together over the years and all of your restaurants and everything else, but possibly the funniest night we ever had was when you came to my house and for some strange reason, we did a television program where I had to cook for you.
I know, but you can say whatever you want because my wife's gone out anyway. Don't worry.
Have you ever gotten over the fact that she cooked for you? That's what I need to know.
Absolutely not. And I've never invited her to my house because of it.
Quite right.
Please tell us.
I can't even remember what it was now.
No, it was.
Please tell us all about
so
it.
much, Aldo, because what it was I had to cook a dinner, you know, for a chef and everything else. Aldo arrives, and what I did was I got some pasta out of the cupboard. I took it out of the paper, the cellophane, whatever it was, and put it into a bowl of hot water. Then I got some mascarpone sauce from Marks and Spencer's, put that into a pan, and then I brought some salad that I got in a, you know, obviously in a pan in a dish, and just throw all that in. And you looked at me and you laughed from beginning to end. And I even managed to burn the sauce because I got from Marks and Spencer's.
All I can say to you is thank God for supermarkets.
Yes. Absolutely.
No one believes, Aldo, that I am a terrible cook, but I really am. But you, honestly, Aldo, you've had restaurants all over London, haven't you, in your career?
Yeah, I was just glancing at my autobiography actually because I haven't seen it for a while. Look at me there.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at that.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
That is
Wow.
me. Yeah, and talking about restaurants, you know, from a little village in the middle of Abruzzo region, youngest of 9 children, and you know, where food was a premium. We never had anything growing up. To end up having 6 restaurants in the West End, you know, frequented by royalties and A-list celebrities was a pinching, you know, I had to pinch myself every day.
Yeah.
And you guys, you know, remember very well because I'm sure at some point you would have eaten in one of them.
absolutely.
100%.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely did.
It's funny, Aldo, because I used to own a restaurant in Richmond and Surrey, and having to deal with chefs I found really quite stressful, I have to say, because they're not the easiest people in the world. Because one of my chefs said the reason we're not easy is because we work behind here, we slave and we work ourselves to death, and no one ever says thank you, and then we go home. That was their big thing. That's true, isn't it?
You know, it's absolutely true. The fact that nobody ever says thank you. I have a business, Aldo Zilli here is where we are, and we're in the middle of Surrey, and we serve takeaways and deliveries. And I work harder now than I used to work when I was at the restaurant, in the restaurant business, because I'm on my own. So I'm not allowed to employ anyone because of COVID. And the thing about thank you, you know, on a Saturday night when we served about 100 people, I don't know who's eating my food because it's all takeaways. My wife never says thank you. Never says thank you. In fact, she's doing me a favor. You know, she's doing me a big favor by talking to me at the end with a glass of champagne.
Lockdown hasn't really affected you in that sense, although restaurants are shut, and I find it very disturbing that they're shut. But so you've created something else in lockdown, so it's been okay for you.
Well, you know, the 15th of March last year, when the first lockdown came about, I was thriving, and I am a consultant now. I'm a restaurant and food industry consultant. So I had about 25 clients. My life was great. I was traveling. I opened the restaurant in Shanghai. I opened the restaurant in New Delhi a couple of years ago. I was flying the world and enjoying my life, enjoying the business I'm in. All of a sudden, it all came to a halt, as we all know. And I lost all my clients. I lost everything that was coming in, basically. So I had to reinvent something. And this is what I did. And my wife came up with this idea of doing a Casa Zilli at home here. And the brand has gone from strength to strength in Surrey. And, you know, Valentine's night is crazy. The first order came in at 10 o'clock in the morning. People reheating the food. People are desperate because they've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
So, yes, I mean, it's been tough, but on the other hand, I flipped it. You know, last year I've got a big field in my garden here. So we did a drive-in cinema. We got a woodland that we're doing experiences in the woodlands. Everybody wants to go to the woodlands. So yeah, we had to reinvent ourselves basically. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to say. You know, it doesn't matter what happens in life. If you keep your positive mind and you keep healthy, and you can always work. Money will always come in.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, and you've touched on a little bit already, your childhood and where this extraordinary creativity to cook and, as you said, arrive here, and now you're a consultant. What was the beginnings? Where did you first learn? What was your excitement over cooking? Where did that start from?
To be fair, I wasn't excited at all about cooking because I think I did it because I was hungry. I was always as a child. I was always hungry, and I was the youngest of 9, so I always got left behind when everybody went out with mum. And you know, one of my brothers was a priest, so on a Sunday, you can imagine, they all went to church. So I stayed behind and made gnocchi, pasta, blah 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 with my mum. We had no running water, we had no electricity, so everything was done in a big fire. Blah blah blah. So age 17, I had enough of everything, and I just left. I just left, but I didn't quite make plans like I should have done, because I left with 100,000 lira in my pocket, which is about 50 quid.
Wow.
I went to Germany, Munich, and I ended up homeless for a month.
Oh no!
Wow.
And then what happened? How did you find your way out? What? Hence
the fact today I'm cooking for the homeless kids in Centre Point in London on my day off. On my day off, that's what I do every Monday.
So what happened? You were in Germany, you were homeless. What was the thing that got you on your path?
That was probably the toughest time of my life, because it was snow. The snow. That's why I love the snow, because in those days the snow, you know, it was snowing, and being in the streets in this cold weather wasn't great. But I was young, and I was stupid. I realized that there was no phones, there was no contact with my family, no internet, no nothing basically. So I just survived by going to you know, the back of Italian restaurant kitchens to have to scrunch a bit of food and talk to people. And I ended up with a job because of that. I talking to Italian chefs. I found this Italian chef that employed me, and he was my mentor for about 2 years. And I think that was the turning point of me becoming a chef.
And how did you get here? How did you arrive here? What spurred that?
What do you think?
Love.
I met an English.
Married.
There we go.
English
said love, but it could be anything. Yeah. Anyway, so love, in essence, brought you to these shores, but then you had a mentor in Germany. What started your career here? How did that work?
Well, the career here was very simple, because I worked very hard at the beginning in a hotel in Surrey, around here somewhere. And then I ended up in Soho. I met this guy, and he gave me a job in Dean Street in Soho. And so 3 or 4 years later, he decided to retire. He said, you know, I've had enough. I want to retire. Do you want to give me 500 quid a week and you can have my restaurant?
Wow.
Fantastic.
So that started that.
That was the beginning of the massive career that I've had.
Yeah.
And then you worked your way into show business.
And then I was always a showman, to be honest.
Of course.
You were.
But again, it's an amazing journey from Italy to Germany to Soho. And because we're all in theatre and have worked in London, obviously, we've all been to your restaurants, of course we have.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
then to have the show business open its world to you, to be on television, again, it's an extraordinary journey.
Yeah, because I was
Yes.
one of the first chefs to be doing television. I mean, in those
Yeah.
days, I remember Keith Floyd was my inspiration.
Oh,
which
Wow.
sadly-
Do you
sadly
still
passed
go
away.
back to Italy? Do you go back to Italy?
When I can. I haven't been obviously now for that since last
No,
March,
of course not.
but I go back to Italy. Every 3 months.
Yeah.
Only because of the business as well. We need to keep in touch with what's going on there with the food, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
the slow food, the Italians love creating new things all the time,
Yeah.
and to be able to catch up and stay up to date with them, it's not
Yeah.
easy,
Yeah.
and there's only so
Absolutely.
many
Yes.
old recipes you can reinvent.
I went to Italy with my parents when I was young, but then I did a Zeffirelli film and was there for months and months and months. And my love of Italy, the most beautiful people, the most beautiful culture, the most beautiful food. And I think it's the most, to have it here with you in Soho, that's why we go there, to have that.
Yeah, and I think when I opened Dean Street, everybody sort of, the Ivy didn't exist. So I became
Yeah.
like the showbiz
Yeah.
restaurant,
Yeah.
the showbiz
Absolutely.
restaurant of
Yeah.
the 80s.
Absolutely.
And Aldo, you are a showman. You completely are, because I know that you can do something quite extraordinary, which is you can flip a pancake 117 times in a minute. And
I'm not sure about being the biggest tosser in town is the show business.
so I was wondering, is there anything else that you can do that we don't know about you, or would you prefer to keep that to yourself?
No, I don't know whether any of you caught it, but I did the X Factor. So,
Oh,
so I
of
like a bit of
course.
singing. Yeah, I did Celebrity X Factor with another three other chefs, and I named the band Bake That.
Can we have a little rendition? A tiny little.
That's
So as soon as
funny.
this is over, we can all get together and have a little sing along.
Oh
Yes.
that's a promise.
Where can we find it? Can you tell us about your business? And I know
Well,
it's in Surrey. How far do you deliver?
Casa-Zilli.com is our website. We've got a big shop on there now. My wife has created this amazing garden smells candles and diffusers. So we've got all of that going on. I've got my children working with me every day when they're not going to school.
Have a look.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's divine.
Beautiful.
So we work together and as a family. It has its ups and downs.
Yes.
Where do
What
I
a
start?
surprise.
Where do I start with that?
Well, yeah. Where do you
Don't.
start?
Best not to start at all.
Teenagers.
Well, there's not a lot of ups. Let's put it that way.
Oh, no.
We've all been there.
In every respect. So yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough because the kids are homeschooling. I can't help my 15-year-old, doing school because I never went to school, so I don't know about anything like that. So, you can imagine it's tough on everyone and everything, on mental health, on the weather. Last summer was different. The first lockdown was different because it was sunny. You could go out, you could go to the gardens and walks. But now it's terrible. It's because the weather's bad and all the rest.
And
of it.
yet you've been so creative, and you have this business, and you have a website, and people can come and get takeaways for Valentine's Day. Not that I don't think any of us are in need of a Valentine's Day, are we, darlings? We're all single, obviously.
Speak for yourself. Right.
So tell us about your secret supper club.
Well, the Secret Supper Club, it came about because I do masterclasses. I used to do them in London in my restaurant, and people used to come with me to the fish market, and then we used to cook together, and then they go home with a cookery book and all the rest of it. So here we have lots of different rooms in this house. That it's only 4 of us. We can only use some of the house. So I started doing the rule of 6 last year, if you remember.
Yes.
We started doing this secret supper club. Secret because people don't know where it is. So they meet in a hotel up the road. I get them to meet in a hotel up the road, and then I take them here.
Wow.
So blindfolded, so that they don't know where I live.
Oh, I love it.
That's fun.
It's hysterical.
And then when they finish, they're blind drunk, so they don't care anyway.
Sounds good.
Oh,
What sort of
love
things
it.
do you cook? What sort of things do you cook?
The Secret Summer Club, they come here, they cook with me in the kitchen. We make fresh pasta, fresh gnocchi, we make sauces, we do a bit of filleting of the fish, and we prepare the meat, and we cook together. And then they have their fizz, their favorite fizz, and then they go and sit down, and they have a bottle of this beautiful wine, and that's it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Aldo, do
Liz.
you have a favorite dish?
Do I have a favorite dish to cook or to eat?
Both.
I think it has to be, at the moment, it has to be black cod.
Oh,
I love black cod, and I love it, done in mirin, and I don't, it's not, unfortunately, it's not an Italian dish, but, I can eat pasta all day long, but it's black cod done the Japanese ways. I love Japanese food.
Do
what
you? That's
about, you do
interesting.
vegetarian, don't you, Aldo? So what vegetarian food do you cook?
Oh, vegetarian. We've got a vegan vegetarian dish at the moment with, we put it on the menu and it's flying. It's a ragu, like you make a meat ragu, but with aubergine. I make this aubergine ragu with all the same vegetables that would go in a bolognese, but the aubergine is the strong vegetable that makes it. And then what I do is I use a lot of different onions, like spring onion, shallots, and red onions. So 3 different onions. And I cook them down really, really slowly and really long time until they actually almost disappear, and that flavors the ragu. And you can't imagine how tasty that is.
Delicious.
And it's a vegan dish, and people go, "Oh, are you sure this is vegan? There's no meat stock in it." But no, with vegetarian and vegan, you have to use a lot of herbs because you have to flavor the food much more than the meat dishes.
Where do we get these menus, these recipes? Sorry, from Aldo.
Again, casa-zilli.com, but that's where everything is.
Then we get the recipes from there. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to try that one.
On my website, aldozilli.com as well.
So Aldo, what is next for you? What would you like to do next, darling, after lockdown?
Well, I just got myself, you don't know, but I've got 18 acres here where I live. So I've just got myself a liquor license, and we're going to open doors as a membership kind of experience place.
Wow,
fantastic.
Aldo, how do you mean? What would it be like?
It's not Soho House, it's Aldo's house.
Okay. So what do you mean? People can come, it will be like a restaurant, or?
Yeah. So people can come, and we're going to have igloos. We're going to have all sorts of different, because we got little huts outside, so people can sit in there and light their fires. Then we got woodland. Then we're going to have the longest table ever in the woodland.
Oh, fantastic!
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to be very cheeky, Aldo. Could the WonderBirds have honorary membership, please?
Yes, I've got 4 waiting for you here, starting 1st of March.
We'll be there.
Thank you, darling.
We'll be there, darling. Thank you.
casa-zilli.com.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Put it everywhere.
Aldo, it's so brilliant. Will you come back when you're launching it? And can we come and do a show?
Tell us all about
you.
it.
Look at this. Look.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yes, well, when we're allowed out, we should come and
You've
do a
got to
show
get this
from
book, by the
Zilli.
way.
What's
Let's
this?
see the book.
You've got to get this book.
Right?
Yeah. We're on it.
Oh,
So we go to your
We
website.
will.
We can buy
Italian
our own
country
food
club.
for our own single Valentine's night. We can get candles and we can get the book. It's done.
Absolutely. But
Absolutely.
no one can book Valentine's anymore because it's fully booked, I'm afraid. But that's about
Oh
Okay.
no!
Sorry. Follow me on Instagram, please.
Of
Stevie.
course.
Anywhere.
It's
Of
Aldo
course,
Zilli
of course we will.
Well.
__ official.
Thank
Okay,
you.
There.
Lovely
okay.
to see you.
Thank you, darling.
All right, darling.
Bye.
See you soon.
Oh, that's
Ragu.
Amazing.
making me hungry, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. He's so creative to have then gone home and then, you know, made all
Yeah.
that food and done that. And
Yeah.
also how
I tell you,
moving
you
about the
love your
children,
secret stuff,
about the
I
children, the
know.
homeless children that he looks
Yes.
after.
That
Yeah.
is
So
fabulous,
moving
isn't
that he
it?
does that at Centrepoint. That's
Mm.
so fantastic.
You know, the blindfold, the secret supper club. I mean, how
Oh,
how
Christ.
much fun
Here we
does
go.
that sound?
I
Yeah.
love
No, nightmare.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Wow.
Okay, you girls.
Oh my
I'll go.
goodness.
I'll drive you all. You can be in blindfolds. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
you don't
the
want
deal.
me to be blindfolded when you're driving, Harriet.
No, dear, it's not a good
No.
idea.
No, not a good look.
So, Sherry, who
Brilliant.
is coming in on Wednesday?
Well, we've got my old mucker, who I have had a relationship with,
Oh,
and it's Kevin Kennedy.
Ooh.
Not in real life, I have to say.
Oh.
Curly Watts, when he was Curly Watts, I did, and his lovely wife Claire Kennedy. So they will be in to tell us all. I won't tell you now. All sorts of things they've got to tell us. So my Kev Kennedy, yes, on Wednesday.
fantastic.
Oh,
And we've
fabulous.
also got Andrew Barton coming in with more, just a few hair tips on Wednesday as well.
Yes.
Okay.
To keep our hair looking beautiful in this lockdown, which is quite
Yeah.
difficult.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Which we need.
We need something.
See you then, darling.
Yeah. Okay, then.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.